Okay, now, ordinarily what we would be doing is just starting the podcast right here with some bumper music. But Susan is running around this beautiful hotel suite, checking out the accoutrement like she's at Restoration Hardware.
It's John Wayne suite.
We are actually in the John Wayne suite. And it's actually very nice. I'm here with Joe Spieldenner. He plays Grantaire in the show. And I've known Joe. He was an original in the company. Shut up! We're going. Okay, we're gonna start the bumper music now. We're switching up the bumper music, and we're gonna have some fun. So hold on tight.
We're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yeah. Behind the Barricade with Andrew Varela, episode 7. We're hanging out here with Joe Spieldenner. He's going to be joining us in a minute. He plays Grantaire in the show. I say he's joining us in a minute, but he's actually sitting he's sitting a foot and a half from us. But it's important to set up in these things because I know a lot about it. It's important to set up a lot of atmosphere. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're here in San Antonio,
Denver.
The home of. We're not in Denver. We're in San Antonio, Texas, and we're having a great time. This is the home of the Alamo. The Alamo. I always wonder if all the guys who died at the Alamo, if they would be cool that knowing they died across the street from a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. That always struck me as sort of ironic. It's like, let's fight for the future. Oh, look, that's Subway. Okay, that's cool. I'd like to die near a Taco Bell or an Outback. I think that's how I'd like to do it. But the city's kind of cool. They have a river walk, and we actually have had a great time at a Mexican restaurant that's down on the river walk. We met a guy there named Cipriano who runs that, but he also runs the B&B Smokehouse, which actually has some really great barbecue that Susan and I enjoyed today. B&B Smokehouse. Not as good as Pizza Queen, but certainly quite enjoyable. Now I'm going to bring Joe Spieldenner into this podcast. Joe, how are you?
I'm great.
Joe Spieldenner, that's right. Joe Spieldenner plays Grantaire in the show, the loathsome alcoholic.
Is that what it says in the program?
Yeah, loathsome alcoholic. So you know what? He also plays. Joe is actually turning out to be the jack of all trades in the cast because he also plays Bama de Bois, which is a role that I think is really cool, and I'd like to try it once. He plays.
Let him explain who that is, though, because a lot of people might not know who that is.
I actually cover Bamatabois.
Bama de Bois, yeah. I always thought it was Bamba de Bois, but it's Bama de Bois.
There's actually quite the disparity on how to pronounce it. Some of us say Bamatabois.
Really?
The Brits say Bamatabois. It's a British-American
The Brits
thing.
say that?
Yeah. I
And
think
most
that's
people
where you
say
got
Bam
it.
Bam.
Bam Bam.
That's what we call it backstage.
The shorthand is Bam Bam in the show.
And
But
Mitch
explain who
calls
that
it
is.
the Bamatabois for
The
some reason.
Bama de Bois? Like the Batman.
He's like,
or something
Joe's going to
like
play
that.
the bishop, Joe's going to play the foreman, Joe's going to play the Bamatabois.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead. So you're Grantaire ordinarily.
That's my main track.
That's your main track. And what specialties do you pick up when you need to?
I'm a cover for Bamatabois, for the foreman, and for the bishop. All three are fun in their own way.
Bam de Bois, the foreman, and the bishop. I wasn't paying attention for a second.
correcting me on
So let's go ahead and let's talk about the show for a good long while here. So tell me your experience with Les Mis growing up. Did you listen to it as a kid? Did you have the LP like some of us?
No, I'm old enough that it was still playing on Broadway when I went to New York for the first time.
What year was that?
1994. It was still playing
1994. You saw it. When did I get in?
1990.
I did a show in 1997, so you missed me. I'm sorry.
So close.
And how did that work out?
I think I caught Terry Mann and Lea Salonga. I think I got a bunch of the original folks.
That's pretty cool.
When I saw it. I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. My uncle paid for me to come on a class trip up, and it was the first show I ever saw.
Oh, your first Broadway show?
Uh-huh.
It was my first Broadway show too. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
But I died. Like it told me that I wanted to do this for a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Les Mis did that?
Yeah.
And now here you're doing the show?
Yeah.
Tell me about when you got cast in the 25th anniversary production.
It blew my mind. I actually was doing another show. I was doing Children of Eden in Astoria.
That's a good show.
I
That's a good show.
I loved it. I was actually doing it with two of the cast members that are in the cast. It was
Who were you doing it with?
Who?
Alan Shaw. I was Adam Noah and Alan Shaw was Kane Japheth, and then actually James Zanelli, who was a replacement on this tour,
he now plays the Bishop.
Yeah, I'm his cover. He was God. And so the three of us were in that, and Chasten Harmon was our assistant choreographer.
What? Wow! So they
it was a family affair.
They must have had an in or something. That's nice. So when you came in for this show, listen, I'm new to this.
There was no in. We all went to an open call.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I think that it was integral in us being cast because we were having one of those romantic experiences that I had then again with Les Mis that just made me love what I was doing and made me like love my life. And I was working my butt off. I had work during the day, and then I had to go directly to rehearsal. I'd get home and be there for like a half an hour before I had to go to bed, and then get up and do it all over again. I did that for 6 weeks, but it was one of those like almost summer stock experiences where you're just loving what you're doing so much.
Yeah, you're having too much fun to realize that you're living in poverty. Oh my God, ramen noodles are awesome!
It's awesome. Yeah. I think I made $200 for all 6 weeks of work.
Nice.
Doing that.
Good.
It's in
Astoria Performing Arts Center. It's actually a fantastic place to work.
Give me a shout out. Astoria Performing Arts Center, not a bad place to work,
it's
kids.
It's fantastic.
If you like ramen.
Everybody there was just so top notch, and I was like I said, I was loving my life. So when I started having the Les Mis auditions, I would come in and I was just having a good time. And our director Lawrence Connor is definitely one of those good time auditioners. Like, he just wants you to relax. He wants you to be yourself.
He's an actor. Yeah, he's an actor. He probably has had something to drink before the thing. I don't know. He's Irish. It's like, they instead of coffee, I think. I don't know.
But
they hit that.
The stakes were not as high as they normally are when you go to an audition and you want to kill yourself afterward. Like, it was just like, I'm having a lot of fun singing my favorite show in the whole world and having a blast, like having him draw new things out of me. And actually, this process was the strangest, longest process I've ever had. I had 5 auditions.
You had 5 auditions for Grand Terre?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it started as Foreman, and then it was Foreman Grand Terre, and then it was Grand Terre Bematabois, and then it was it was always Javert along with it, which I cover Javert as well.
You cover me.
Yeah.
That's what you cover.
Really?
Andrew Varela, right?
I play. That's what it
You
says.
did
in
a good job. You
the
did a good job.
program. It says understudy Bematabois, Foreman, Bishop, Andrew Varela.
Ah!
But
damn right. That's a hell of a good place to be.
And then my last call, back on track.
Thank you. You're
My
doing
last call, they asked for Thenardier, and I was like, I don't understand that one, but I did it. So it was insane, and it was 5 calls. I came in the last day. I think the only guy. It was after the guy call. I was in there with all of the girls on their.
You audition with the women? What do you think that says? What does that mean?
It means versatility is what it means.
You know what? Maybe he can be Eponine. I'm just saying, this is Lawrence. Just love it for 10 minutes. I swear, it's going to be wonderful.
Gender blind casting.
What? And then let me ask you, what was it like when you got the call that you booked it? Because that's kind of a singular moment. That's kind of a singular moment for an actor. It's like when the phone rings, because you're always waiting for the phone to ring, and if you recognize the caller ID and it's your agent or whoever cast it, or you don't recognize it, you pick it up and they say, "Listen, we'd love to have you join the cast of blank." What was your? Tell me that story. This is a good question. I'm going to ask this question of everybody. Where were you when you heard you booked the show?
Well, it came in waves though, because I had gotten Mary Sugarman she's the
Mary Sugarman of Tara Rubin Casting,
right? She had been kind of the contact, and she kept through Caitlin Shaw, her assistant, kept like sending
Caitlin Shaw of Tara Rubin Casting.
Correct.
Okay.
Sending words of encouragement and helpful tips and things like that, like ways, and I knew that they liked me a lot. She kept bringing me in for other shows while they were doing this casting, which told me that they were having a good time with me. But it was one of those things that you went in the last time, and Tara was in the room, and when I finished singing and they kind of conferred for a second, she started smiling and nodding her head a lot, and I was like, I got this. I know I got this.
Nailed it.
That's an amazing feeling.
That's a great. You know what?
It was
And
incredible.
thank you, Tara Rubin from Tara Rubin Casting, because you know what? That is that's mother's milk to an actor
That's
who's
the
going through
best
the
feeling
who's
in the
going
world.
through the rotten ass experience of auditioning.
So I kind of knew leaving the room, which was wonderful.
You know what? You did not know leaving the room, because we've all left rooms when somebody's like, "Yeah, you booked it, man. You nailed it,"
Yeah.
and then you don't get the call because some other reason.
But like
So-
I said, I was loving my life at the time. I was going to my other show after my
Good for
audition.
you. That's
so I loved it. It was just like everything was positive at that time for me.
That's fantastic. What a great thing. You know, you also said some of the other jobs you've had, because you've been working a lot. You are from, let's go ahead and do this. You are from the backwoods of someplace, right?
It's Maine.
You're from Maine?
Yeah,
That's
but
not, are there backwoods of Maine?
It's what? Maine is only backwoods.
Okay, I don't know.
Maine
I've
is
never-
like
that Maine is-
Kennebunkport and where the bushes hang out, and then
Maine is the
back.
only state I have never set foot in. That's actually not true, but it's one of it's actually
Like 24 hours ago, he went, I've never been to New Mexico. And now he's sitting here going,
yeah. No, I've never been to New Mexico and Maine. There you go. I think I've hit every other state, just a little bit at least.
Alaska?
Oh, I haven't been to Alaska. Don't throw that at me.
Alaska's the only one I've missed.
Oh,
But
have
I've
you been
gone
in every
everywhere
other
else.
state?
Yeah.
What are some sort of interesting things that have happened in your career as you're progressing along? Because we all have, as actors, we all have very interesting experiences coming up, because there's always a crazy job here. You know, that dinner theater gig where you were pulled on at the last second, or the help me summer stock job that has a whole weird thing going on. What is yours? What's a fun story about doing? Because there's a lot of aspiring actors that listen to this. And what would you?
I'm a little
what's something fun
older,
to say?
and I actually did all of those things. I did. Yeah, I'm not as old as you, but I am.
Wow.
But I'm also
That's fine.
understudying you, so
fine.
clearly when I grow up, I'll play Andrew
come on.
Varela.
Yeah. You can
but,
try.
But I did all of them. I did summer stock for 4 years, which is where I actually met Ricky Todd Adams.
Ricky Todd Adams, who sang the Pizza Queen thing in episode 5.
We met 10 years ago when he was playing Jekyll and Hyde at the Seaside Music Theater in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I played the matinee Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, how was that?
I had a blast. But
How was that role? How was that role?
It's
Is it brutal?
exhausting.
Is
Yeah,
it
but
exhausting?
I had 2 rehearsals before I had to go on because Ricky needed so much rehearsal.
Ricky Todd, a Pizza Queen fan. All right.
No, but
You went on with 2 rehearsals as
yeah.
Jekyll?
Yeah, I had a rehearsal in the hall, and then I had the rehearsal. Sorry, he's making me laugh. It's not
fine.
my fault.
Keep going. We have a peanut gallery today. It's only because really no reason at all. Go ahead.
We're in the John Wayne suite.
We are in the
That's
John
fun.
Wayne suite in this hotel.
But so we had so many elements to that, and so I rehearsed one time in the rehearsal hall when I was in costume and everyone else wasn't, and then I had one full run when I was in costume and nobody else was right before I went on, and I did it the Wednesdays and the Saturday matinees for 6 weeks. 5
Oh, that's
weeks.
a long time.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
Yeah.
How'd it go? Everything okay?
yeah. I mean,
I always figured that would really be a painful experience because vocally it's hard to sing
impossible.
stuff. It's
I
just
lost my
impossible.
voice every single time I did the show.
Yeah.
But luckily I had it from Wednesday till
Yeah, right.
till
Well, that's the way
Saturday
you
to
want
get
to
it
do it.
back together.
With Valjean, with the covers that they have going on, the once a week covers that they have going on. You need to get your stamina going there because
sure.
it's not for the faint of heart.
And I was younger. I was 25 when I did it, so it was definitely. I would like to play it again one day. Now that I know how to sing it and I know how to pace myself, and I know.
And you
all
have the
those
hair
things.
for it. Your hair is actually pretty long. Is this the longest your hair has ever been?
Ever been? It actually
in your life?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It doesn't have to be this long for the show necessarily.
Oh, he's okay. He pulled his hair out of his scrunchie, and now he's
this is not a scrunchie.
It's scrunchy enough. It's something I wouldn't wear in my hair. It's a scrunchie.
You
have great
couldn't
hair.
wear
You
it
have
in your hair.
actually, you know what? When I was coming up, in the world, everybody had hair like you have right now. It was
Les Mis
absurd.
hair.
But the problem is, my hair is I have what Latinos call pelo chino, which means Chinese hair. Because my hair is very
Straight.
coarse and very thick, so when it grows out, the sides become huge like an emperor penguin. So I've never had long hair because it looks horrible for way too long to get to that point.
Just be
But
glad
your
that it's
hair-
not pelonada.
Pelona. Well done. And along the lines of that, going into that, we are going to go. It is time for 10 questions from Javert.
It's already time.
Yeah, you're doing good. See,
Goodness
it flies by.
gracious.
I'm that good. We're going to start with this, Joe Spieldenner. What is your middle name?
Edmund. What's funny about that?
Nothing! That's why! Who has that name?
It's Edmund. It's
Yeah,
my
sure.
grandfather.
Well, I'm sure he was a lovely guy.
His-
In Maine. Did you ever say
He's
yeah?
not from Maine.
I always do. Do you feel a special kinship to Stephen King when you read his books and you know all
I've run
those
into
people?
Stephen King in the grocery store in
And
Bangor,
with
Maine.
your with your minivan. That when
minivan.
he got hit by a minivan some years ago.
Well, we had a 14-seater van in my family.
How many people are in your family?
I have 17 siblings.
What is
Stop it!
You guys know that.
I don't know that.
your poor mother? Some step siblings in there, or the 17
There are
births?
4 that are half. My mom gave birth to 14 of us.
14?
Yeah.
God, she's like a thugger.
Have I met your mom?
Bless her.
Yeah. No. She came.
That seems like a lot.
She came when we were at the Kennedy Center, and I was on for you. So
That
you
seems
weren't
like a
there.
lot. Is she okay? Does she feel okay? Because you've seen like those dogs that they breed a lot, and they're just. No, I'm just saying, it's a lot of children. It's a lot. That's a lot of children. That's
met
a lot
your
of
lovely,
children.
beautiful mother.
No, my mother had 4. That she's a piker compared to your mom. Your mom can look at my mom and laugh at her. I'll tell you that right now. You can have them call her up. That's a lot. 14's a lot. I figure after 6, what's that? It's like a bunion, you know. It's just like another reason you got to stay in that night.
We lived
Okay.
on a farm in Maine. We didn't go
What did
far
you farm?
into it.
What did you
but
farm? Did you ever farm anything?
It wasn't production. It was just subsistence. We had.
You lived on a subsistence farm?
Yeah, my dad was kind of a hippie, and that's why he moved to Maine in the first place. So we lived off
What would
the
you
land
subsist
mostly.
on? Yams? What would you?
We
you
had-
have to eat meat. Do you
We
have
had
protein?
like 5 gardens. We had horses and cows and
Did you
goats
eat the
and
horses?
sheep. Yeah.
Did you eat? Did you
We
ever
had
kill anything to
we
eat?
had tons of.
What did you kill?
What
I've
do you
never killed.
mean?
What did you kill?
You're
I've never
excited
killed.
about killing something?
No, I'm not. But I often wonder if that I would survive. I watch like Lost or some of those things, and I think I'll die. I'll just kill myself because
No.
I can't kill anything.
Yes, you
I'd
could.
be like a vegan on an island. I'd get sick of coconut
I
pretty quick.
cried when we'd have because we had over 100 rabbits in one of our barns, and that was like we would sell rabbits for food or for pets. Like food or pets, rabbits was a sign on our.
Could you tell early on a rabbit that was good for pets and good for food? Did you ever look at a rabbit and be like,
I
I'm
don't
gonna eat
think
you?
we distinguished.
Really?
No.
You can't tell?
No, we had one old rabbit. I think we called him Lucky or something.
You bet your ass.
He was
Yeah, you know it.
who was definitely.
What's an old rabbit?
He
14 months?
most of my childhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was around for a long time. If I had to guess, I would say almost 10 years, but I don't know how long rabbits actually live.
That's a hell of a rabbit.
I wouldn't know, but he was probably the father of 9%
Everything
of
else
our
there.
offspring that we had.
What was the maximum number of rabbits you ever had at one time?
We never counted completely, but
Were they like vermin? Were they just everywhere?
in the barn? We had them.
You had rabbit. You had a rabbit barn.
Yeah.
Why?
You went up these stairs and slid open a locked door, and there were hundreds of rabbits. And I
Doing
had to
what?
feed them. I actually had this unfortunate experience. What do you think they were doing?
Okay, that's fine. They're rabbits. You're right.
I had this experience when I was little, when it was my job to feed them, where I accidentally gave them chicken feed instead of rabbit feed.
What happens?
And
Wings?
one is light brown and the other is dark brown, so I didn't even think about it. They puff up like a seagull in an Alka-Seltzer. Their stomachs expand and they all died.
How did you kill?
I killed 20-something rabbits.
What a nightmare! Did you eat them quickly? You must have had a feast that
No,
night.
I sat and
That
I
must have been
cried,
Thanksgiving.
And then my wonderful brother buried them all for me because I
You
was in
buried the
trouble.
food rabbits? Why wouldn't you just eat them?
Because they died. You can't eat things after. That's how you would die as a person on a desert island. Because once something's dead, it starts to have diseases and things that you can't ingest. You have to eat it within like 24 hours.
You gotta kill it to eat it.
You're right.
But
I used to
Joel's
cry.
suggesting that you could microwave them and still
You could microwave them, and they get softer then. They get softer then. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big
Then they
deal.
explode. But I used to cry when they would do a rabbit
How would you
slaughter.
kill a rabbit?
I
I saw in the Michael Moore movie a woman hit one with a baseball bat.
That's kind of what you do. You club it. You
Did
grab.
you ever club a rabbit?
Yeah, I had to.
How was that?
It makes you cry. I don't know.
Did you,
I'm
how many
a
did you
gentle
do?
soul.
You are a gentle soul. How many did you do?
I only killed one time.
Okay.
But but I killed chickens. We lived on a farm.
You killed a chicken?
Yeah, you had.
Do you chop its head off?
And then it runs
and
around.
You just let it, Susan and I, we were in my love Providence, and we went into a live chicken, a live bird, poultry.
It was a
butcher shop.
that had live.
There's a butcher shop that had live poultry, and we went in the back.
Like in Harlem.
And it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
They had just killed.
They had just killed some things, and they were like struggling and doing whatever. It was just a nightmare.
As a kid on a farm, though, like
I get it.
Them jumping around was like incredible because they ran with direction, as though they had like they didn't just bump into things.
Where would they go? They run for the car. Where would they go?
Their legs would go, but they'd go up and down the hill without running into the fences. Like they would
really.
Like,
did you ever try to like chop a head off and then put it in the maze and see if it could figure it out? You didn't.
No.
You'd have been awesome if you had. Seriously, like what do you suppose that just memory or something like that? How would they know to run in a certain direction?
I have
how
no
far
idea.
how far does a decapitated chicken run?
It goes for like 5 minutes. It's a
What?
long time.
I would be horrified.
It's terrifying. They do spurt blood out of the top of their.
Oh my god! Really?
But I'm not like some. I mean, I grew
You're
up
not.
a farm boy.
Dude. It's
but
a farm. The point is that if I lived on a farm, I delivered a calf recently.
I know. I saw pictures.
Yeah, I have video. I'll post it sometime. But the when you look at it, the farm can be a hard place. You have to like get rid of some of the niceties when you deal with that, especially if you're subsistence farming.
we had pet animals, and then we had things we knew we were going to eat.
What pets did you have?
We had horses and ponies, and they were, like whenever something would distinguish itself in a way that was endearing, there was a goat that was kind of a jerk, and he used to run at us and charge us every time we came to the pen. And my dad grabbed him once and popped his horn off, so he had one horn.
How do you pop a horn off? You just pull it?
He went for my dad, and he held onto his horn, and he yanked it. I mean, it's keratin. It's like fingernail.
It's just things.
But it just popped off in his hand, and that goat kind of became like a mascot of the farm.
You told your friends you had a unicorn. That would have been the.
Well done, sir.
Let's go to Spieldenner's farm. We got a unicorn up in there. Yep. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to 10 questions here.
Yes.
What's the last song you listened to on your iPod?
Hard to say.
Look on your phone right now. Do you use your phone as an iPod?
Yeah, I was listening to the Doors album at the gym today.
The Doors?
So Strange Days, the best of the Doors, was what I was listening to at the gym.
You listen to the Doors? That's kind of low energy.
I usually listen to Echo Echo. The Boxer is the first song, and that kicks my butt at the gym. But
nice.
I just wanted to listen to something different.
I dig it.
But I would say most played.
Yeah.
Jason Forbach's album.
Oh, wonderful! Jason Forbach, who's in the show. He's an incredible singer. It's really amazing. Okay, going back to the questions. What has been your favorite city so far on tour?
Washington, D.C.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved it.
Okay, now for the record, you were the first person that didn't say Fayetteville, Arkansas.
I was on vacation in Fayetteville. I went
you
home.
suck.
I thought, who wants to be in Fayetteville?
Dude,
and I went home.
I'll tell you
Everybody
what.
loved it.
Fayetteville.
Everybody thought, but it was fantastic.
The funnest 1,200 seat theater you're ever going to play in. It was nice. Yeah.
But a lot of people I know on tour had been to Fayetteville and thought it was different tours, thought it was a hellhole. And the reason I think that this company loved it is because it was spring and it was the first time we had been in warmth for a long time. So everybody went out in their shorts for the first time and rented bikes and went out on the town and went through the nature trails. And so it blew up for our company in
you
ways.
hate Fayetteville.
It
That's
hadn't.
what I'm hearing now. You
I
don't
want
believe
to hate it.
You don't believe in it. You
I
don't
need
believe
to
in it.
hate
It was
it because
Shangri-La.
otherwise I miss the best city.
It's fine. It's fine. Listen, okay.
But DC was playing the Kennedy Center. It was like culture and beauty.
That's
and
pretty amazing.
we had beautiful weather, and it was autumn, and the leaves were changing, and I got to play Javert at the Kennedy Center, and my mom and dad came.
Where was I?
Oscars.
At your niece's wedding?
Oh, niece.
Oh, my niece's wedding. That's right. Yes. Congrats. It was a wonderful. I heard you did very well.
But my mom came, and my dad, and a couple of my siblings.
Was that the first time they? Well, obviously they'd seen you perform before, but was this the biggest thing they'd seen you do?
Yeah, I came to Portland with South Pacific about 10 years ago, the tour of South Pacific, and all of them came to Portland to see me do that, which is a bigger role than...
Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
That screws me up. Go ahead.
Yeah. But that tour was not anywhere near as intense or
this is what
mind-blowing
Javert. I
as
mean, what a
this.
great thing.
Yeah.
What a great.
My
thing.
dad said he's
Tell me
never
about you seeing your dad after you did it. After he saw you do it. Tell me
He
about
said
that.
he's never been prouder in his life.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
I felt bad for all my brothers and sisters.
They're still chopping chickens' heads off, subsisting. Yeah.
No, it was amazing. It was definitely one of those full circle moments, and
that's good. That's great. That's great. You probably blew him away. He had no idea what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, that's great. DC. I hated DC PS.
Really?
Yeah, I just had a bad... The traffic, I was driving. So I wanted to kill myself. Every night, I wanted to kill myself for about 45 minutes. Every day.
We were 20
It
minutes
wears you
by
down.
bike away, and
Yeah.
the DC has the bike share program that is killer in a bunch of the cities
Yeah,
in the US
I
now.
would not ride a bike in DC. It was like you may as well...
They have bike
leave-
lanes.
You may as well... bike lane, that's cool. So a car can't jump into a bike lane and tear your spleen out that way, too. Because the line is painted on the road. No, I
choose
would
not to
have-
live in fear.
Okay,
I am
cool. I choose to live with all my organs. Okay, so here's a new one. We're adding this one here. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna save that one.
Oh,
I'm going to this one. I'm gonna save it. A little tease. What is your favorite chain restaurant?
that's really hard. Chipotle.
Ooh, that's a good
You are the
one.
first person who didn't say
You-
Chili's.
Especially
I know Chili's, right? People
I like
say Chili's a lot.
Chili's. I like the fajitas at Chili's, but
The
Chipotle-
fajitas at Chili's?
Yeah.
Do you go ooh and ah when they bring you a sizzling fajita plate to your table? Because I hate you if you do.
That's
But
not me.
you can tell the truth.
Uh-uh.
You don't. What do you order at Chipotle?
Don't judge me.
I get a salad, a burrito bowl salad, and then they have the smoked. What's that sauce? The
The
hot
Tabasco.
sauce.
Yeah.
Smoked Tabasco, which is
You're all in
the
it.
most delicious thing
got it done.
ever. And
Yeah.
it's low fat, and the fact that they use all sustainable products and they're green and responsible.
Horrible. No, okay. That's probably true. That's probably
it's
true.
a very responsible organization.
But you're still eating a burrito. You have to understand the
it's
irony
a salad
of that.
actually. There's no
Okay.
burrito in it.
So you're eating a taco salad. Mm-hmm. I always get.
I wish I had a taco salad right now.
I know. I would love to get taco salad. I'd kill for taco salad. I always get what's the carnitas.
That's what I
The
always get.
fajita burrito, which is delicious, by the way. It has less. It has no rice in it, so it's really wet though. You have to be careful with it. Okay, now we're gonna go. We're gonna go deeper. We're gonna go deeper here.
Be careful.
We're gonna go deep. What book has inspired you?
Just inspired me.
No. Let's go deeper. Even deeper. Yeah, breathe. What book has changed your life? If a book has affected you, what book was that?
Toni Morrison's Beloved.
Oh.
What's that?
Nice.
What's that?
Winfrey.
Is
You
she
should-
an
you
Oprah
should check it
Winfrey
out.
book? What? Tell me about that book. What did it do?
It was the first book I think that I've ever read that was very it was very non-literal. It worked in colors a lot, and it worked in abstract images, and it told a story in an emotional way, so much so that like when I'm writing, I look back at the book and read a few paragraphs to kind of remind myself of the texture of language, and I think that Toni Morrison is just one of the she's one of Oprah's super loves, Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou. But she tells of an experience that I could never know. Beloved is a slave woman in early America. And she's running away from masters that she fears so much that at one point she kills her baby when she fears they're coming to her.
What?
And the baby haunts her, and that's kind of the gist of the story of Beloved. And it's just told so masterfully and so beautifully that it reminds me of like how beautiful the world can be in words.
Wow. That was
Deep.
That was
really
you went deeper than I ever thought. I like Starship Troopers, but that's
Casper
fine.
Van Dien is
Yeah,
from
Casper Van.
He's
what?
from Port Charlotte, where I lived from 12 to 24. And
Casper Van
I
Dien
sang
was
in
in
a
the
choir
movie.
with his mother, and she used to talk to me all the time about what Casper was doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's he doing? He's not doing anything.
Nothing now.
Nothing. Okay, let's go to what is a talent or skill you have that would surprise people? Well, besides murdering chickens.
Oh.
What is a sorry, too soon? What is something we've had chimpanzees. Sarah Shahanian
Right.
did chimpanzees.
She trained
Justin
chimpanzees.
Scott Brown could imitate the Spanish language tapes that he learned that he used in high school.
Paredes.
Totally, it was awesome. What is a skill or talent that you have that might surprise people?
I can hold my breath for 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's not true.
I
that
wouldn't
would
say
injure
it.
your brain.
It does injure my brain.
Oh, that's cool.
I've only done it 3 times. I did it when I was watching a program on Russian divers, and they said that they could hold their breath for up to 3 minutes after training for 12 months. And so I was like, I can hold my breath for 3 minutes. And when you're a kid in a family as big as mine and you swim in a pool with your brothers and sisters, it's always a hold your breath contest or a how many laps you can do without taking a breath contest. So I always did really well, and I said I could do 3 minutes, and my best friend was like, BS, and I did it, and I said 3 minutes wasn't even hard, I bet I could do 5, and he was like, do it. And so I did it, didn't believe it, he didn't believe that I was not breathing through my nose. So I actually put saran wrap over my nose and mouth and watched the clock, and I got to 5:15. And then, since I've told people that,
And when they revived
I've had to prove it a couple times.
It was a wonderful...
Mind over matter. There's a part where your body starts to.
Well,
like,
I want you to know that I'm gonna have to.
No.
We can do it now. Let's
No.
do it right now. Let's do it right now. I'm gonna hold our
No,
breath.
I will give you my best friend's number. He'll tell you the truth.
Okay. Well, all right.
But I've done it for my siblings one time, so that was 3 times.
So
that I
you
did
are
it.
you are like you can tolerate hypoxia well.
Right. Hypoxia.
That's a $5 word. Just it means hypoxia. It means hypoxia.
That's very
Lack
cool.
of oxygen in the blood. I definitely, you go through a moment of your body kind of convulsing a little bit, and you go.
You may see dead relatives, but you know what? You've got to
There's
be
the white light,
Jimmy.
but
You've
don't
gotta
go
be-
toward
don't
the
go-
light.
That's all you have to do. Just don't go to the light, and you'll eventually wake up. That's a shit idea. All right, so here we are. Behind the barricade with Andrew Varela. I'm hanging out with Joe Spieldenner. He's there he is. We're in Texas, y'all. Anyway, go to the website, andrewvarela.com. We'll see you there.
Hold your breath.
All right, there you go. That's that. Now let's go to another question, because holding your breath, basically, if you could actually die like in Flatliners, that'd be awesome.
I'm sure if I had a CPR, aficionado
Okay, here we
on
are.
task.
Going back to the questions here. If you could have dinner with a historical figure or a fictional character, who would you dine with? And would you have a sorbet? No, just forget that part. But who would you have dinner with? If you could have dinner with somebody, that fascinates you like that, historical or even contemporary, who would you be? I know you've met Bill Clinton.
I have.
You have met Bill Clinton.
I was the steward at Chelsea's wedding.
Yeah?
The
steward at Chelsea's wedding.
Yeah, I was the only person who was allowed to serve Bill and Hillary and Chelsea and Mark.
Did you see a lot of chemistry happen in there? Did you love them? Did you get an idea who they were?
Yeah, absolutely. I also did all the tastings by myself. So I did 4 tastings with the family.
You were with them in the room while they tasted the food that they would have?
Did you snap your thong at him?
Stop it. Leave her alone.
She snapped her thong.
Okay. So, but how was it? What was that like? You saw it was Hillary and
It was
Chelsea?
interesting. He was very charismatic, and I could see their relationship had a beauty that I hadn't known before. Even more interesting was I'm, as you know, a huge Obama fan, and so I was not very pro Hillary in the primaries. Mm-hmm. And I saw her. I had met her once before at the Bloomberg Mansion when I was working an event there, and she was very business. But seeing her in the setting of the wedding, she was such a mother. She was so wonderful
was she?
to Chelsea, and she was a wonderful wife, and my heart softened to her entirely. I couldn't believe how great she was. But then Bill was so charming the whole time.
How you doing? I'd really like some French fries.
It's pretty good.
That's my Bill
but he's
Clinton
on a super diet. Like he
he's
ate
totally
like all
thin now.
vegan
Yeah, no,
stuff.
he's
He's skinny.
thin.
In fact, I got him sweet tea once, thinking like obviously someone from Arkansas was going to have sweet tea when he asked for tea, and he was not allowed to have sugar. But he put his arm around my shoulder and he said, "Are you from Arkansas?" And I was like, "No, sir."
I'm from Maine. Your shame. You must have felt that shame.
He actually said, "Too bad for you." Like,
did he?
Yeah.
Sweet man.
Yeah. But a historical figure,
Oh yeah, let's go.
I would like to have dinner with Obama. Sorry, I think
would,
he is.
really?
I think he is
What would-
epic.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
That's cool.
Because
But I mean, honestly, there's only 6,000 years of human history. You could have dinner with Leonidas. You could have dinner with Napoleon. You could have dinner with.
We don't speak the same language. It would be a very quiet meal.
Okay, assuming you had a translator, an Aramaic translator. Still Obama? I mean, it's got to be fascinating to have dinner with any president, but it would be really hard. Like, I would only have dinner with a president if I could be like, are you sick of it? Are you?
Yeah.
I would just ask him. I'd be like, dude, do you ever just want to get away?
Well, I think that he particularly would be easy to ask those questions of.
Well, because he takes so many vacations, there's plenty of time to have dinner.
Let's do a compare and
Yeah,
contrast.
no, it's fine. We're doing good. Okay, listen. Now we're gonna go level 10 deep. Here we go.
10.
What are you scared of? No, let me preface this by saying that I'm scared of zombies. So it doesn't have to be something that can actually happen to you. But if something like, what is it that scares you?
Being alone. Being, like, getting to the end of my life and having no one there.
Wow.
That's my biggest scare.
That's deep.
I
legit.
jumped out of a plane when we were in Seattle. I swam with sea lions when I was in the Galapagos Islands. I'm going to South Africa with Jason in June of next year, and I'm going to do a great white shark
You are
cage
not.
dive.
You are not.
I am.
Are you really?
I'm not scared of worldly things, but being alone when I'm starting.
I tell you what. After you stare down a great white shark, I want to see if they're still on the same page. Being alone in a 14-foot thing that wants to eat your guts.
I ain't scared. I can survive for at least 5 minutes and 15 seconds in his stomach.
You know what?
That's so biblical.
Oh my God, that's so good. You know what? That'll be great. I wonder how you survive when you become shark feces, though. That's the
What better way to die?
That's the unenviable road that takes you down.
And I won't be alone. There'll be sea lions and seals in there
Lots of
too.
sea lions. All right, now here we go. We're gonna tie it up with this one.
Tie it up.
Okay.
If you could go back in time and tell your younger self something, what would it be?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good one. Calm down, you're good enough.
Boom! Calm down. You're good enough. That's good. You know, that's actually sweet. Looking back, because we've had other people say things like that, and we're all so strung out when we're younger, and the older we get, the calmer we get. You know, and that's your experience too.
Well, to tie this back into Les Mis, though, I always saw this as so above my head, and then I get into this process, and I see not only did I love doing it, and it was like the fruition of everything that I had tried to do before this, but it was appreciated. Like, I got assigned a bunch of covers, and people really responded to what I was doing, and I was like, you're of this ilk, you belong here in this company, like you can do this.
You're a chicken killing kid from Maine who's in a national tour playing all these huge parts and these huge roles. That's actually a big deal. You know, growing up in New Jersey, I was right there in New York. It was right next to me, and it was so easy, for me to go and see Broadway. But for you, I mean, it must have felt like a million miles away
Pluto.
for most of your life.
Pluto.
Yeah,
Absolutely. For sure.
and here you are.
And we were poor, and, I just never knew how it would happen, but eventually it did.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're
are too.
You're going to be in. This is we're all fortunate to be working. We're all fortunate to be working on this show.
Absolutely.
So it's very cool, and that's Behind the Barricade.
Yee!
Yay.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Joe, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Michael and Joel, for shutting up. And thank you, Susan, for everything.
Nah.
Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.